have a look at how the world is feeling about the EU referendum vote. Andrew Leung is an independent China strategist and he joins us now from Hong Kong for the perspective from Asia. Andrew, great to talk to you. The Asian markets have gone pretty quiet over Brexit. For those of us who are not as familiar with how the stock market works as well as yourself, what is happening and what are people waiting for?
Well, I think as far as the market is concerned, a lot of the uncertainties have already been factored in. For example, the market is calmer than before. Now that the so-called in vote is gaining some momentum, although it's still too close to call. But as for the people, the man in the street, a lot of them are not as familiar with the mechanics as they ought to be. And as far as on the mainland is concerned, of course, there is the degree of concern is very different between the government, maybe the top leaders, and the big companies on the mainland, as well as I said, the man in the street. For example, as far as China is concerned, obviously they want Britain to remain in the EU because China has invested greatly in London and wants to use London as a platform to access the rest of the market in Europe. But as far as the big companies are concerned in China, they are also going global, and they are also pushing their investments in Europe, and also using the UK as a very useful, convenient platform. But again, the men in the streets in China, I mean, how much do they know about the mechanics? Not very much.
Well, Andrew, as you say, China is wanting the UK to remain. But in your opinion, is it just the uncertainty that is making the stock market tumble, or will it have a profound effect if there is a Brexit?
Of course, there is a great deal of uncertainty. We are seeing a kind of intergenerational conflict of views. This is not just happening in the UK, but perhaps in other parts of the world, I mean, including in the United States. Because the world is being polarized with all this globalization, movement of capital, movement of people, and various interests have been impacted upon. Now, if you look at the arguments rationally, a lot of the people who are for the out vote, as it were, they're really wanting to eat their cake and have it at the same time, because they say, well, we can act like Norway or Switzerland without being inside the EU and still benefit from the EU market. But the reality is more complicated than that. I mean, if you look at the Norwegian model, they have to pay, to access the market, and indeed have to comply with a lot of the regulations and embrace some of the principles of free movement of people, even on a per capita basis. Norway is accepting more immigrants per capita than the UK. So I think that the story is being twisted. But as I said, the ordinary people, especially in the UK, they look at their own immediate concerns, the impact on their jobs, the fear that the more immigrants that are losing the control. So all these contribute to the great uncertainty in the outcome.
Andrew Leung in Hong Kong, thank you for your insight.